Hey everybody, it's Charles. Here we are at the end of all things. By that, I mean part 2 of the internet's top 10 favorite Pokemon. Yes, this video will conclude a list of the top 10 Pokemon voted on by 1,129 Pokemon fans who responded to my question, if you could have only one Pokemon, which Pokemon would it be? Before we get started with number 5 and work our way up to number 1, the most popular Pokemon ever, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the notification button, and check out part 1 if you haven't seen it already, where I go through Pokemon 10 to 6. And this list is very much a list born out of the Pokemon community, so go down and drop me a comment and let me know who your favorite Pokemon is. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, we're halfway through the list here and it's getting dark in the forest, so let's hammer through this before I get attacked by wild boars. Number 5, the God of Pokemon, which gives it away right away. Yes, Arceus. So, I don't have much to say about Arceus. It's never been a Pokemon that's appealed to me a whole lot. I mean, it's super powerful and cool and everything, but its name is apparently derived from one or some combination of various old Greek or Latin words. Some of the common ones that people cite are arch, which means highest, and deus, which is Latin for God. The Latin word arcanum also means secret, sacred, mystery, and it could also come from the Greek word archaeos, which means ancient. I don't really know, but if you read the Bulbapedia page, I'm sure you can find some interesting information there. One of the other cool things about Arceus, I really liked how if you gave it different plates, it would change the typing. That was really neat. In, I think, 2010 or 11, there's a cool TCG deck that was somewhat competitive based around that. It was pretty neat. Arceus and the Jewel of Life wasn't a bad Pokemon movie either.
You shall be brought to justice!
But yeah, Arceus, an all-powerful Pokemon, which is basically a llama with a necklace. So moving on, we know that Mewtwo was the first successful clone of Mew, but apparently there were all kinds of failures preceding that success. And one of those failures, according to fan theory, was Ditto. Yes, it is widely theorized that Ditto is a failed Mew clone. And it makes sense. They're both pink, they both have similar looking shinies, they're both the same weight, they can both transform into other Pokemon, they're both genderless, and yeah, just going back to that ability to transform, Ditto's ability to transform into any Pokemon could be a result of it having Mew's DNA, since Mew's DNA contains the genetic information of all Pokemon, which, you know, in theory could allow Ditto to transform into any other Pokemon, including Mew. Which begs the question of whether or not that experiment was a failure or not. But anyways, adding to this theory is that in Pokemon Yellow, the only places where you could find Ditto were in the Pokemon Mansion, where Mewtwo was supposedly born, and in Cerulean Cave, where Mewtwo is lying in wait for you. Seems to add a little bit of weight to the theory, and if this is actually true, then Mewtwo and Mew and Ditto are kind of like a family. A family that is totally dominating this top 10 list. Anyways, Ditto is cute, and fun fact, Ditto and Manaphy are the only two Pokemon that can breed anything but cannot be bred, I think. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Alright, I'm gonna turn up my ISO here because it's getting really dark. We are breaking into the top 3 now, and I bet some of you must have some idea what at least 2 of the top 3 Pokemon are. So if you haven't already, head down to the comments and let me know what Pokemon do you think are going to be in the top 3. Alright, here we go. Next up is a Pokemon that has been with us since the first generation. A Pokemon that has been on the forefront of games and anime and manga since the very beginning. A Pokemon that is so popular that is going to star in one of 2 upcoming games for the Nintendo Switch. A Pokemon that has been honored as a starter Pokemon in some of the video games, an honor which I think has only been attributed to 25 or so Pokemon, something like that. A Pokemon that is not yellow. It's Eevee. Firstly, Eevee is just way too cute, and secondly, and probably the main reason that Eevee consistently makes it into the top of these kind of lists, is evolutions. As you most likely know, it can currently evolve into 8 different Pokemon: Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Umbreon, Espeon, Sylveon, Glaceon, Leafeon, in no particular order, and that's pretty damn cool because there is no other Pokemon that can do that. But why can Eevee evolve into so many different types of cool Pokemon? Well, according to the Pokedex, its genetic code is irregular. It may mutate if it is exposed to radiation from element stones. It has the ability to alter the composition of its body to suit its surrounding environment. Possessing an unbalanced and unstable genetic makeup, it conceals many possible evolutions. Well, thank God for that, because evolutions are the bomb. I especially loved any of the evolutions Pokemon TCG decks that have emerged over the years, and I actually tried to evolve an Eevee into a Flareon with some homemade evolution stones that I made in a video I put up last year that for some reason really pissed off a lot of people in India. I have no idea why I got suggested so much in India, but people really didn't like that video. So I don't know, check that out if you want, and maybe you'll hate that video too. The only other thing I have to say about Eevee is, what is your favorite evolution? Well, there's probably one Pokemon that you knew you were going to see on this list, and here it comes. A Pokemon that stands 1'4" and weighs a mere 13 pounds. A Pokemon with very crappy defense stats. A Pokemon eternally voiced by a famous Japanese voice actor who also voiced Chopper in One Piece. A Pokemon featured on an elusive card for which only 6 copies were ever made, one of which sold for a whopping $100,000 on eBay some time ago. A Pokemon that even had a protein named after it by some nerdy scientists. Yes, this one is yellow. I have to say that if this video was not targeted exclusively at active Pokemon fans and towards a broader audience, probably Pikachu would take the #1 spot because everyone knows Pikachu. It's been the face of Pokemon since pretty close to the beginning, and it's a character that's really on the level of something like Mickey Mouse, where the household name recognition is so strong that if people say Pokemon, mom or dad or grandma or whoever, they think of, Pikachu. Pikachu is pretty great. Don't know what to mention about it that you don't already know, but a couple fun facts. One is that Pikachu is actually a name derived from a Japanese onomatopoeia. Pika Pika means sparkling or glittering, and Choo Choo means kind of like the squeaking sound that a mouse makes. So you put those together and it becomes Pikachu, a name that's stuck in the global releases of the games and anime and everything because it just sounds so cute, I guess. Interestingly, Clefairy was originally intended to be the mascot of Pokemon, but that quickly changed as Pikachu roared ahead in popularity and became the face of the franchise. Another fun fact, it was kind of weird how in Pokemon Red and Blue, Pikachu could not actually learn Thunderbolt on its own. You had to learn it from a TM, which was later changed. Kind of interesting since we often associate Thunderbolt and Pikachu from watching the anime and whatnot, and because Thunderbolt is just a badass move. So anyways, it's kind of cool to see Eevee and Pikachu sitting together here on this list because they will be coming out together to take the world by storm pretty soon. Also, that's a loud boat. They will be coming out as a duo pretty soon in Pokemon Let's Go, coming out for the Nintendo Switch. I'm pretty excited for that game. Gonna pick it up. Looking forward to it. Alright, and finally, on to #1. If you are surprised by this, I would be a little bit shocked because we haven't seen it in the top 10 yet, and you knew it was going to be in the top 10. Here it is, #1, winning by an overwhelming margin. There couldn't be any other in the eyes of fans. A Pokemon who has a species of bee named after it. A Pokemon with the most badass shiny. A Pokemon with the same stats as Typhlosion, but much cooler. A Pokemon that's orange. A Pokemon so sick that it got 2 megas. Yes, it's, surprise surprise, Charizard. Did this surprise you? Probably not. Charizard has been so popular and so iconic consistently over time. It has its haters who want to take it down for the hype, but there is no denying how much people love this Pokemon. It's badass. It was on the box of the first games. For many who chose Charmander back in the day, it was their first Stage 2 evolution. Ooh, a bat. Holy fuck. It can learn a variety of moves from different typings, including Rock Slide, Seismic Toss, Mega Punch, all the different kinds of fire moves and various dragon moves. It's played a big role in the anime over the years. It isn't Incineroar, and much like Lucario, Nintendo just keeps pushing it out there like the Conor McGregor of Pokemon. It's probably destined to be #1 on any favorite Pokemon list. It's just too cool, the nostalgia's there, people love Charizard. And it is #1 on this top 10 list. So let me know, how do you feel about Charizard being #1? How do you feel about this top 10 list in general? What is your favorite Pokemon? I can't wait to read your guys' comments. It is interesting to see how this list was so heavily dominated by Generation 1 Pokemon. Part of that could be the influx of Pokemon Go players who are more familiar with those characters. A lot of them are older players coming back and getting involved in Go, and the nostalgia factor weighs in. But it could also be the fact that the designs back then were generally a little bit less shitty. And like, I seriously do think that these older characters were designed quite nicely. They weren't quite so round and spastically colored. And of course, beyond their appearance, they've also been developed more over the years. So yeah, probably is a mix of half nostalgia and half the fact that the original designs were just so damn cool, which keeps people glued to these original 150. And once again, before it gets pitch dark here in the woods and I get eaten by animals, I've got to say that I really would love to do a bigger survey in the future. So if you're interested in seeing that, please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment and like. It really helps and I really appreciate it. And if you're interested, check out some of my other videos on Pokemon, like my 10 fun facts about Pokemon Crystal video or my How Pokemon Changed My Life video. I think you might enjoy them. And don't forget to let me know, if you could only have one Pokemon, which Pokemon would it be? Alright guys, that's it for now, but we will talk again in the near future. Bye for now.